All right, welcome to the 2022 We All Count volunteer training. We are excited to conduct our third engaged point in time count in the San Diego region and hope that this training gets you excited to learn more about our neighbors experiencing homelessness. Let's start by introducing ourselves. My name is Jenna Marie.
And my name is Nina, and we are your 2022 We All Count coordinators.
Please contact us if you have any questions about the point in time count or the volunteering experience. If you have a question about the materials presented, please feel free to reach out to us at the emails or phone numbers that have been provided on the screen.
We are your Survey 123 experts. We are project managers at BitFocus. We have been working with Regional Task Force on Homelessness to design their survey for this year's point in time count. Our names are Megan Zielinski and Ashley Wynn. Between us, we have approximately a decade of point in time count planning experience and about 5 years of Survey 123 and ArcGIS experience.
All right, here is an agenda of what will be discussed during this training. Please take a second to review. We'll be going over state of homelessness in San Diego, overview of the We All Count, logistics of an engaged count, surveying tips and advice, and questions. We will begin by briefly reviewing the data from the previous count. Here on this slide, you will see that the minimum count for the total homeless is 7,638 for the 2020 point in time count. This map breaks down the total homeless by region. As you can see, Central San Diego is home to the largest share with 63.7%. East County is the next highest with 14.3%. Next, we will provide an overview of what the We All Count is and what we are aiming to accomplish. The point in time counts are a 3-day unduplicated count of sheltered and unsheltered homeless individuals and families across the United States that occurs at the end of January. In San Diego, we brand it the We All Count, and it provides us with a snapshot of who is homeless on a given night across the nation every year. Conducting the We All Count also makes our region eligible to receive federal funding from HUD. The We All Count this year is going to be a 3-day event and starts on Thursday from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. The We All Count consists of several key components. The unsheltered enumeration and surveying is the largest piece of this event and is likely what you are participating in this training for. Again, this year, we will be conducting surveys within homeless shelters across San Diego County. Limited volunteer opportunities for this are listed in our Survey 123. We also take stock of our housing inventory and account for many unsheltered homeless that are living and residing there. The youth count and incarcerated surveys are also critical components that we will be partnering with outside agencies to accomplish. Addressing, alleviating, and preventing homelessness requires a clear understanding of our homeless population and their particular circumstances. Only by knowing who, where, and how many people are experiencing homeless can we plan and identify the resources needed to best serve them. Answers to these questions provide the basis for developing sustainable solutions. This infographic shows how the data collected leads to funding. The data collected from this event is compiled and sent in a report to HUD. HUD then allocates funds to regions depending on their point in time count totals. These funds are then dispersed to homeless service providers. HUD has provided guidance to San Diego, and we will continue to count people during the We All Count instead of vehicles and hand-built structures, as we did historically. To comply with this, we will be surveying people as we encounter them. Engaged count volunteers are tasked with enumerating and surveying individuals that are unsheltered the night of the count by walking streets, parks, transit stations, and other places not meant for human habitation. You and your team will be assigned a group of leaders that is part of a homeless outreach team and some census tract areas to cover by car and or foot to engage the homeless. Don't worry about not knowing the census tracts. They will be provided to you the day of the count to help guide you. Depending on which deployment site you signed up to volunteer at will depend on the census tract for that site. The census tracts will assist you in where you will look for unsheltered individuals. Depending on the tract, you may be walking around and engaging people as you find them, or driving the census tract and completing either an unsheltered observational tally. We will provide more information on what an engaged survey versus an observational survey are later on in the presentation. Next, we will discuss the logistics of volunteering and what is expected. Site coordinators will assign teams of 3 or 4 people along with their 1 professional outreach worker per group. There are several roles you can do as a volunteer. The goal is to administer a survey to any person you encounter that is experiencing homelessness. Some of these roles include a map reader to guide the group around the census tract, an interviewer that enters answers into the survey, which is Survey Act 123. We ask someone to handle and distribute gift cards and socks, and also another person to drive the census tract. We ask that you arrive to the We All Count site 30 minutes prior to the count start time. For most of you, that will be at 3:30 a.m. You will retrieve the needed supplies, and please be sure that your phone is charged. During your shift, you will look for unsheltered individuals in your census tract and conduct interviews as a team. At the end of your shift, please return all materials to your site coordinator. Upon arrival, please sign in. You will be placed with your teams, and each group will receive the following: gift cards, socks, resource guides, census tracts, and please be sure again that your phone is charged.
So here is what the survey is going to look like when you first click on the link. The survey is able to be accessed by link on your phone, on a web browser, or an iPad. So at first, the survey will start by filling out the date, time, and location along with their initials. Then the survey will ask the person if they would like to complete the survey. And depending on the answer, a set of questions will display to the surveyor. So no volunteers have to select which survey they're going to complete. By answering the questions with the individuals, it will take you along the right path to answer the questions. So when the surveyor will use the app, they will log the location of the survey by dropping a pin with the circles with 4 prongs, or you can manually input the address through find address or place. This is what the map will look like on a web browser. And then on the next slide, I will show you what it will look like when you're using it on mobile. Please remember that location must be turned on your device for this functionality to work. Here's what the map functionality looks like on a mobile device. You can see here, you will have to select press to set location on your mobile device, and then it will open up into the map where you can select the circle with the 4 prongs to denote the location, or again, you can manually enter in the address. And in order for the pin to save, you just have to select the arrow by clicking it. It's highlighted in yellow, and it will denote the location. So here you will find the census tracts in the map. They are denoted by the blue lines. So for survey census tracts and street surveys are coded blue, and surveyors led by an outreach worker will walk or drive in groups around their assigned census tracts and look for any unsheltered individuals. Once you encounter anyone who is unsheltered, you will then complete the survey with them. Please note the map will no longer serve as a tally sheet since it is in the Survey 123 app. When completing a survey, the surveyor will drop a pin through the previous slides we talked about. So once you locate someone to survey, then you will go through the survey and the questions will take you along the path for which survey you are going to complete. So in the event that someone is unwilling to complete a survey, the volunteers will then complete the observational survey, which that will take you to by when you indicate no, the person is not willing to complete the survey, then it will ask you some follow-up questions, and there will be more details in this training on how that works. These are just some examples of what the observation survey will look like. So it will ask age, race, ethnicity, and gender for you to observe that and then select the appropriate answer. We also have an optional information for you to record the year, make, and model of the vehicle if you have time, and any other identifying characteristics. So observational surveys are brief that the volunteers complete based on immediate, obvious visual information on the unsheltered individual. It is critical that this is completed within Survey 123 anytime you encounter someone who is unsheltered and unwilling to complete a survey, so we can collect that data. Because the count is occurring early in the morning, it is likely that many of the individuals you will be surveying will be asleep. Regional efforts will be made to alert the homeless population that anyone asleep outside during the night of the count may be awakened in order to conduct a survey. When waking someone up, and this is included in the survey, you would introduce yourself. Hello, my name is Megan, and your name is, and allow them to answer. I'm conducting a survey as part of the San Diego point in time count to better understand housing situations, help provide better services, and increase funding for the community. Would you like to take a brief survey? You will get a $10 gift card for your time. Your participation is voluntary, and you can end the survey at any time. And your answers are confidential and will only be used to improve the quality of homeless services in San Diego. Would you like to complete a survey? If the individual says no, then you'll fill out the observational survey. If the individual says yes, then it will take you along some questions that we will go over in the next slides. So remember to politely approach and greet the individual or group and read the intro of the survey. And if the individual agrees, then continue on to the next questions. If they ask if they will get anything for it, tell them about the incentives. Otherwise, wait to see if they qualify for the survey. Remember to always be polite and non-aggressive. Homeless folks are highly marginalized culturally, so be aware of this. If asked about who you are and what this is about, respond accordingly. We are part of a national project to count people whom are experiencing homelessness, and look for any potential dangers before proceeding into unknown areas. So police activity, gang or other street activities, dark alleys and secluded areas, or location with only one route for entry and exit. If there is ever a serious risk of danger, please immediately call 911.
All right. You are not required to report an illicit activity unless they are endangering themselves or another person. Our goal here is to not build distrust with the community or criminalize homelessness. As mentioned, please be respectful. Please do not share personal information about participants with anyone. Emphasize to participants that information will only be shared with the Regional Task Force on Homelessness. Be aware of your tone, body language, or how you can be perceived. It is our goal to make sure folks are comfortable being surveyed. Because of this, it is crucial that you are calm and non-judgmental as participants share personal information. If a participant becomes distressed, do not pressure them to answer and move to the next question. It is okay to redirect the conversation if participants give longer answers. Please make sure you are dressed comfortably and have a fully charged phone.
Now I will go over a few details related to COVID-19 safety. Please note these protocols reflect the current COVID-19 safety conditions and considerations at the time this training was recorded at the end of October. If any of these protocols or expectations change, volunteers will be notified as those changes occur. We wanted to let you all know that some of our volunteer deployment sites may require you to be vaccinated and may require you to show your vaccine card. Deployment sites are able to set their own expectation for this. Regarding face masks, per California guidelines, when indoors, you're required to wear a face mask if you are unvaccinated and encouraged to wear one if you are vaccinated. Face coverings will be provided at your deployment site if you do not have one, and additional masks will be available to hand to individuals that you are surveying. Regarding vehicle sharing, if you choose to ride or drive with a team to count census tracts, you should follow California's public transportation guidelines and wear a mask. If you're experiencing any COVID symptoms, please stay home the morning of the count.
It is critical that when conducting the count, we are surveying homeless people and not the number of vehicles. If you come across a vehicle or RV you suspect someone is living in based on the conditions of the vehicle, please attempt to survey them the way you would someone who is living on the streets. If they are unwilling to interview or no one is responding from within the vehicle, please complete the observation survey to the best of your ability. This survey will have a space to include the vehicle license plate number and if it is a car or an RV. There is also a note box to enter further details. Thankfully, you are able to drop a pin in the Survey 123 app. Homeless outreach workers will then follow up and attempt to engage the vehicle or RV at a later time. Here are a few examples of the types of vehicles we want to engage. The vehicles on the left have visible markers of someone living in them, such as having many possessions within the vehicle and objects that are obstructing the windows for privacy. Vehicles that are visibly empty, slightly older models, or RVs in residential neighborhoods that are in someone's driveway should not be counted unless engaged. If an RV is in someone's property, please do not engage the vehicle. When speaking to someone living in an RV, you will need to ask a few questions to clarify if they are homeless and in need of services. If someone sleeping in a vehicle does not want to complete a survey, then an observational survey should be completed within the Survey 123 app, so follow-up can be completed by outreach.
So we're going to review some of the survey, provide an overview on the eligibility, household data, and identifying information to just reshare what we have shared in previous slides. So for eligibility, where did you sleep on the night of January 26, 2022? There are a list of options, but if they answer that they are staying in either shelter, emergency shelter, transitional housing, a motel, hotel, or etc., you will enter in the information, submit the survey, and that will be the end of the survey for that individual. If the person answers that they are sleeping anywhere unsheltered, like bus, train station, airport, or a park, then the age question is going to pop up after that. Are you 25 and up or 24 and under? If the individual is 25 and up, that will take you along the adult questions. And if the person is 24 and under, then that will take you to the youth set of questions. After you have selected whether the individual is sheltered or unsheltered, then household information will populate. If they are unsheltered, these are the screens that you will see. If they are sheltered, then these questions are not asked because that survey would be finished and submitted after they say that they are in a sheltered location. Surveys can be completed for someone if they slept with someone in the same location and they are not physically present to complete the survey. Household determination is by who slept in the same location, not blood relation. So on the first screenshot, we have 3 different ranges. So depending on the person's age, this is where you will fill in how many individuals fall within those age range. So if you have an adult over 25, if there are 2, then you will change that 0 to a 2. If you have 2 or more, however many are between 18 and 24, then you'll fill out that box. And whoever is under 18, then you will denote that in that box. As you change those boxes on the second screenshot, these bubbles up here are for each household member. And that is how you will navigate between filling out the set of questions for each household members. So as a part of the count, we do collect full names, social security numbers, except for youth, and birth dates to make sure no one is counted twice. We will not share your information with anyone outside of this organization. If you are only comfortable sharing a partial social security number and your initials, then that is helpful as well. So for the surveyor will ask the following questions to the original respondent and then repeat for other household members. If other household members are not present, the original respondent should answer for them. For survey eligibility continued, this is a question that will pop up as well. That did another volunteer or survey worker already ask you questions about where you're staying? If they answer yes, you will end the survey and hit submit and then do another survey with another individual. If they hit no, then you'll continue with the survey and the questions will populate from there. If they have not been interviewed before, ask if they would like to take the survey and receive a $10 food card for their effort. For household members and personal information, to make the flow of the survey more seamless based on feedback, you will ask personal information regarding their full name, date of birth, and social security number. However, do not push for information. If individuals are not comfortable providing identifying information, partial social security numbers and initials are helpful to catch if duplicate surveys are conducted. Participants can supply information on household members if that member is not present. Each household member present would get a gift card. These next set of questions seek information on length of time homeless, and they will help us calculate chronic homelessness. These are examples of what is on the survey, and when we go through the survey later in this training, you will see those questions as well. Please do not focus on calculating chronicity yourself. The survey will help us do that. This chronic health question. So do you think any of the disabilities we talked about are expected to be long-term and prevent you from working or maintaining stable housing? This question is asking if any of the disabilities they may have indicated are going to be long-term and impact the person's ability to have stable housing. So examples of chronic health conditions or disabilities include cancer, diabetes, HIV, and bipolar mood disorder. So let's go ahead and walk through the survey. This is the link that will be sent out in your training email that you can click on it. And you can also scan this QR code. And we do encourage everyone who's watching this training to actually test the survey and go through it as we go through it. So please take a moment to put this link in your browser or your mobile, or you can go ahead and scan the QR code now. It should not look much different than on your mobile. So you're going to select your date and your time in these boxes. And here's the map functionality that we talked about. So if I wanted to get my location, I would set these 4 prongs, or if you're on mobile, then that grayed out set location, you'll press that and it will take you to your map. So for here, I do not have my location on. So if you do not have your location on your device, then this is going to pop up. You can manually enter your address into the find address box. So I'm going to put in the regional's address, and here you can see that it has dropped, and you can scroll in order to see a bigger version. Here you see all of our census tracts. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and that's how you work the map functionality. Here you're going to put your name or your initials. My name is Megan, so I'm going to put my name in there. Here's our prompt for how to approach individuals to conduct the survey. And this is really where it's going to start you along which path you're going to select the question. So if they say no, then this will take you to the observational side of the survey, indicate why you are using the observation form, whether, if they cannot conduct it because the person refused or a language barrier, or if you hit other, it's going to drop down and you can provide a brief description. Here is where you're going to start the observation. So what is this person's age? What age range do you think that they fall between? Are they Hispanic or Latino? What is their race? So you can select all the categories that you're observing. Gender, you will also select. And here's where the optional information, where you could include the year, make, and model of the RV or the car. And after that, you'd hit submit. And once that's completed, all you have to do is refresh your browser to get a fresh, brand new survey. Again, fill out your date and your time. Here's the location that you'll fill out, put in your initials, and let's say that they would like to complete the survey. So once you introduce yourself and get the individual's name, then you can enter their information or their first name. If they don't want to, you can also write refuse. Here is where you're going to select, did a volunteer already ask them questions? If they say yes, then you will end the survey and hit submit, just as we did with the observation. But for this training, we're going to go ahead and select no, that nobody asked them questions. And so this question will pop down, where did they sleep the night of January 26th? If they select any sheltered location, emergency shelter, transitional housing, safe haven, hotel, motel, jail, hospital, treatment center, couch surfing, or if they're housed, you will select that and you will end the survey just as we did with the observational. If they are in one of these unsheltered locations, such as a park, then it's going to pop up what is the age. So are you 25 and up or 25 and under? So if you do 25 and up, that will take you to the adult questions. And if they're 24 and under, then that will take you to the youth side. So for this training, we're going to select 25 and up, but as you're going through the survey, you can test other options if you would like. So here is the household members section. Here are the age range categories that we went over already. So for this training, I'm going to say that there are there is one person. There's one person who is above 25, and that there is one person who is under 18. I don't have anyone in my family or that I'm serving that's between 18 and 24, so I'm going to leave that as 0. There will have to be a number, whether it's 0 or an actual number in these boxes because they are required. And then next, we will move on to the demographics and homeless history questions. So as I mentioned, as a part of the count, we do collect full names, social security numbers, except for youth, and birth dates to make sure no one is counted twice. We will not share your information with anyone outside of this organization. And if you are only comfortable sharing partials, then that is helpful as well. So here are the next set of questions that you're going to ask. If you already were able to get the individual's name, then you can just plug it into this question. Birthday month. So these will accept numbers, or you can also write don't know or client refused if you're not able to collect the information. Birthday year. If you put in the year, then this next question is going to automatically populate with their age. So just to verify this is your age, you can say just to verify is your age 34. And if they say no, if you need to change it, then you can also go ahead and change it. For your social security number, you can ask them. If they don't know or they refuse, you can also type that in. And if it is a youth, as we do not collect social security numbers for youth, you can type in the word youth. How are you related to person 1? So in this case, person 1 is the head of household. From when I go to fill out person number 2, I would select whatever the relation is to the household member. And so from here, these are the set of demographic information. So you can go ahead and select what the individual says and what they respond to you as. If you've ever been on active duty in the military, if you select yes, then 3 follow-up questions will populate and you will fill them out. For the purpose of this training, we will go ahead and select no. And then did you become homeless in San Diego? You can hit yes. Are you experiencing homelessness because you're currently fleeing, domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking? Just go ahead and select whichever answer. First time experiencing homelessness. And then these next several set of questions will help calculate chronicity. Again, don't worry about calculating chronicity in your head. You just have to put exactly what the respondent says the answer is. The next set of questions asks about sensitive topics. So they do not have to answer any questions that they don't want to. However, their answers will be combined with the answers of others who take the survey and used to help provide better programs and services to those experiencing homelessness. So these are, do you have a physical disability? Do you have a developmental disability, a mental health disorder, substance abuse disorder, HIV or AIDS? And do you think any of the disabilities we talked about are expected to be long-term and prevent you from working or maintaining stable housing? Now, this is very important. So you need to complete the questions for each household member, and you need to repeat it for each member of their household by using these blue circles under the demographics and homeless history section. Do not end the survey until each household member is surveyed. So for here, I'm going to click over to my number 2. And I will fill out the questions again, with that household member, what they say. So I'm going to run through this quickly. And for this person, I'm going to say that they're the spouse. And then I will fill out all my questions as they're related to demographics and active duty, and then again, homeless history, chronicity, all of those questions. And then after we ask all the questions of the households, then we can go ahead and submit the survey, and the data was sent successfully. And if you need to do a new survey, all you have to do is go up to your web browser and hit refresh, and you have a brand new fresh survey to complete with somebody else.
When recording answers, please record the exact answers provided. Do not probe for answers to questions. However, feel free to provide examples or clarify if there is confusion. Interpreting includes providing an example or slightly rewording, but do not lead them to an answer. Example, do you have a physical disability like vision impairment? That's okay. You have a physical disability, right? That's not okay. Only do this if you are comfortable doing so and capable of doing it in a sensitive manner. It is critical that no questions are left blank. If applicable, mark client doesn't know and move on. If you have any questions about the We All Count, this training, or anything else, please do not hesitate to get in contact with us. Volunteers are what makes this effort possible, and your time is truly valued and appreciated. Thank you for your time and support of the We All Count. When a community cares, all kinds of things are possible. We wouldn't be able to do this without you.